morning. I hope that week 3 treated you well. I hope that getting this second FRQ done was a little bit easier this time. If you went ahead and tackled it, if you didn't, that's okay. We will work on it. This week, we are not doing an FRQ. We're still doing a little bit of writing, but it's not going to be in an FRQ format. In fact, you're just writing one paragraph, 7 to 10 sentences, and if you go ahead and look at the assignments for this week, you'll see a little bit more what that is going to be about. But there is a little bit more reading. You're going to be reading a document that talks about integrating quotes, and that's not really like a text to read, and I've annotated it for you, but it's just 2 pages about how to integrate evidence. So you're going to look at that this week. This week you're also going to be reading 2 texts that talk about Mark Twain and the piece that you would have read last week for the FRQ. So if you did not complete the FRQ last week and you didn't read Mark Twain's A Presidential Candidate, you're going to want to read his A Presidential Candidate to get a better grasp of this week's assignment, because this week's assignment does build off of last week. So you're definitely gonna want to read that. I do have it linked though in the assignment, the Presidential Candidate. So you don't necessarily have to go back into that module, unless of course you have not completed that module. Then I implore you to complete it. So this week we are talking about synthesis. You're not going to be writing a synthesis anymore on the AP exam, but learning how to synthesize information is really crucial as you go forward in your life, because as you'll watch in the video that I have listed in our lesson, synthesis is something we do constantly. Synthesis is how we make sense of the world. It's how we formulate our own opinions, our own well-supported opinions. All of that happens through synthesis, and being able to synthesize information, especially in a written form, is a skill that really elevates your critical thinking skills, because you're moving beyond just what you think and you feel, or what one person thinks and feels, but what 3 or 4 or 5 people think and feel and have discovered about a topic, and using that information to substantiate something that you have to say. And so that's like a next level of critical thinking that's really important for you to develop. So I still want to talk about it, but we're going to do it in a way that's still in service of rhetorical analysis, because on the AP exam you're going to be writing a rhetorical analysis paper. And I really want you guys to do as well as you possibly can on that. So we're still going to focus on that a little bit this week. That being said, the articles that you're going to read, you're going to use those to write one paragraph that is kind of analyzing one rhetorical device that Mark Twain uses in his essay, A Presidential Candidate. So that's sort of how we're going to meld the 2 together. So for here, let me walk you through this way. This week you are watching a video on synthesis. It's really short. I think it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Just a really brief, the more you know about synthesis. After that, you're going to be looking at this evidence integration sheet. It's a sheet of, it's 2 pages, and it's going to talk about how you can integrate quotes into your writing. And some of you are stellar at knowing how to incorporate quotes into your writing. And for some of us, that's going to be a work in progress. But this sheet is going to outline 3 ways that you can really improve your writing through the way that you incorporate and integrate quotes. So that is going to walk through that. I've annotated it for you. It's colorful. I think the way I've annotated it, I hope, is going to help you go through it quickly and understand what you should be pulling out of it, what's important to remember. So you're going to do that. Your assignment this week is writing your own synthesis paragraph using quotes from the 2 texts that you're reading this week. So before you get to the assignment, or when you click on the assignment, you're going to want to read the 2 texts that I have listed there for you. The first one is 5 pages. The second one is 3 pages. So altogether, it's 8 pages of reading. I would just break that down, one day read one, the other day read the other. While you're reading, you really want to be maybe underlining or circling quotes or pieces of information that you think are useful, and that you think maybe you could later use. Either maybe they're saying something that you really agree with, and so you can pull that out later. Because when you get to the assignment for this week, you're going to be writing one paragraph in which you synthesize information from both of those texts in order to support your claim. And your claim in this paragraph is going to be, you're going to claim that Mark Twain is using fill in the blank rhetorical analysis in order to do whatever he's doing in his text. So that's going to be your claim. You're claiming that he's using this whatever rhetorical device you choose, and you're going to convince us that he is using that by using writing from two other experts on Mark Twain and on rhetoric and on literature, and you're going to use their quotes to sort of help give what you have to say a little bit of credibility. You're not going to be doing that necessarily when you write your rhetorical analysis, right? Because you don't have sources to pull from. But you would do something like this in a synthesis paper, but doing it this way, we're still talking about rhetoric. So you're really just picking one rhetorical device from the reading from last week. Mark Twain's a presidential candidate. And then you're writing one paragraph in which you explain how he's using that, and you support your decision to choose that rhetorical device as something that you think Mark Twain is really using to his advantage by pulling one quote, just one quote from each of the readings from this week. So one quote from one reading, one quote from the other reading, and then you're going to use one of those methods or two of those methods to incorporate those quotes. So the assignment's working on multiple levels. We're still thinking about rhetorical analysis, but we are doing synthesis, and we are practicing incorporating quotes into our own writing. Okay, so it's going to work on those levels. Your quiz this week, likewise, is also going to talk about quotes. And really, it's just going to be a brief quiz, and it's just going to sort of assess your understanding thus far of how we use quotes to incorporate evidence into our own writing. That is all we're doing this week. I definitely recognize that that I'm losing my voice. Definitely recognize that you've had quite a bit of writing in my class to this point. If you've done all the modules, you've written 2 essays, which is beautiful, and I love that for you. Love that you're writing, but that is a lot of writing. So this week we're slowing it down a little bit. You're just writing that one paragraph. That being said, if you are not up to date on the other modules, it's okay. We're all human. Like, there's a lot going on right now. I understand that, but reach out to me if you need my help, or if you're like, I need to like work out something with Miss Dotson because this is like not working for me. What we're doing right now in this class, it's overwhelming. Bear in mind, there's still some skills that I need all of us to get out of this course, because they're important for your cognitive functions, how you relate to people in the world, how you consume information, like beyond just the AP exam. There are skills in here that when you don't, engage in the module, like you're missing out on developing some of those skills. So I want you to get those, but if we need to talk about how we're going to get you to those skills, that is completely okay. But definitely jump into this week's module. This week's module is a lot slower, but we're still really targeting a specific skill set that will be to your advantage, even when you write your rhetorical analysis essay for the AP exam, right? Because you are going to be incorporating evidence from the original text into your analysis, and the better you can incorporate those quotes, the more sophisticated your writing is going to sound. And there's that point on the rubric that is all about sophistication and sounding like you really got your stuff together. So go ahead and reach out to me if you have any questions at all this week. Again, like I said, if you need help managing what's going on right now in this course, if you just feel like you're way too far behind, it's week 4, I don't know how I'm going to catch up, we're halfway through, that's okay. Just contact me. But you have to contact me. You guys have to contact me. We're getting towards like the end of high school here, so that's also a skill that we need to practice, is how to use your resources and ask for help and advocate for yourself when you need help. So good luck this week. I hope I see you all, and I hope I hear from you very soon.